micro finishing methods. The other name for this micro finishing is super finishing. As I am saying that in grinding we will remove less amount of material, that is from 0.5 mm to the maximum. So why we have to prefer the micro finishing operations? So in this micro finishing operations, the ability of the machine parts will resist wear, will resist corrosion, and will have fatigue also. And most of the cases it is going to be depend upon the surface finish. Whenever the surface finish of the pot is very poor, it is going to have excessive wear because of rubbing, and some kinds it is going to have to failure also. So what is the alternative for that one? So the alternative for that one is poor surface finish has micro irregularities, that is also called as a roughness, and rough surface has peaks and valleys. Like if you observe the any machined surface, if you go with the magnification, you can able to see some ups and downs on the top surface of the case. So this part is called as a roughness of that particular machine surface. So what is the thing? Suppose if you try to observe, this is the specimen which has been milled. So if you can observe that cutter impressions are very clearly appearing on the top surface of the pot. So these things and all will try to create an impact. This particular pot is not properly machined. So for this one we are trying to going for a super finishing operations. Okay, so these are the various kinds of super finishing operations: honing, lapping, polishing, buffing, and burnishing. So what are the advantages of this super finishing process whenever we compare with the normal finishing process, like I can say grinding? So it is having lesser friction of moving parts, moving surfaces, and lesser contact pressure on loading, and as well as in many of the cases we will have high contact area. Some of the machining operations will have very low noise as well as very less vibrations which compare with the other machining operations. As well as here the material removal rate is very low, so the heat generation is also very lesser, so no need to go for lubrications also in some cases. Okay, and here once the wear of this particular thing and the fatigue is getting increased, so definitely the life of the pot will also get increased. Okay, and here it requires very less amount of power consumption. So here there are some kinds of terms, as we have discussed, that roughness will be some sort of ups and downs like this, waviness will be some kinds of unlevels, you can see it in ECG graph, no? So like this unlevels will be there on the top surface. Flaws means these are the flaws. Okay, some kind of defects are there, no, on the top surface of the part. These are kinds are the flaws of the particular machined part. Okay, next, so super finishing is done to obtain, as I am saying, that we require high surface finish and high dimensional and geometrical accuracy. So what are the applications? There are multiple number of applications for super finishing. In automobile industry we are using for polishing of connecting rods as well as crankshafts for IC engines. So this particular applications they may ask in competitive, most of the competitive exams. And in the machine manufacturing they are using for polishing of tool guides and pillars, and in the ball bearing industries they are using for polishing of races and ball bearings. In the ornament industry they are using for polishing of inner surfaces of gun barrels. So basically this gun barrel will be of a long hole, no? So inner races they are going to kill in it. And in the measuring industry, for the slip gauges, so slip gauges, if you try to observe the slip gauges in a metrology lab, so you can see that the slip gauges will have a good polish on the top surface of the sign gauges as well as with the slip gauges also. Next, we will go with the honing process. So honing process is consisting of a process which will be done in a hollow sections. Like suppose if my pot is having some hollow part in the center, so in this one we will try to insert the honing tool like this, and this material will try to remove the excess material from the work surface. And for this honing tool we will try to bond some kind of abrasive particles also, and these abrasive particles will try to have a rupture with the already machined surface, so that a small amount of heat will be produced. That's why they have termed it as negligible heat is going to be produced, and with this negligible heat we can able to remove the we can able to have a good surface finish. Next one is a lapping operation. So lapping operation means on one particular surface we are going to place one more surface. In between these two surfaces we are applying a small kind of lubricant and abrasive grains. So the lapping tool is called as a lap, which is made up of soft materials like copper, and this lap is pressed against the work and moved forward and backward in this direction, and this direction it is going to be moved. So due to this one, what happens? So the surface will get ruptured, and the excess material which is going to be settled on the top surface will be removed. You can see here. So this is the case where the fluid has been applied here. With this in the fluid we can able to see abrasive grains as well as the from fluid flow. With these ruptures we can able to remove the top surface. This is also one category of machining process, lapping. Next and you can able to see this is a honing tool. Okay, so this is the outer surface of a honing tool. It is placed inside a hollow cylinder. So this is the honing tool which is placed inside the workpiece. This is the biggest horizontal spindle honing machine. Okay, and you can see this engines, carburetors, combustion chambers. All these things are which is having where we require high micro finish or super finishing. Wherever we try to apply this kind of honing process. Next one, buffing. So buffing consisting of a workpiece and a big roller. On the top surface of roller we will have a buffing compound. This buffing compound consisting of some kinds of abrasive particles only, and this buffing wheel is going to be rotate at a speed of 1000 to 2000 rpm. Whenever it is having contact with the work surface, this buffing material will try to have a contact with the work surface, and the material removal is going to be happen. And this is mostly used in parts of motorcycle, bicycle, household applications, plastic parts, and automobiles also. Buffing is very commonly used. And the fourth operation is polishing operation. So this polishing operation is a finishing operation which is used to improve the surface finish by means of polishing the surface. Suppose we are trying to use it for the in the households, mostly in the households they are using granites. So for the granites also they are going for polishing the surfaces, no, like this. So it may be use fabrics or leather which will be rotating at a high speed. With that particular speed, if at all a small amount of burrs are there on the top surface, those things will be removed with the help of these abrasive grains. Okay, and next one is a burnishing operation. So burnishing operation is the operation in which the surface is rubbed and abraded on hardened steel rolls. So in the lathe we are having a cylindrical workpiece, and we will have a sharp point cutting tool. Instead of this sharp point cutting tool, in the burnishing process we will have a steel roll. So this steel roll is going to have a attachment with this work surface, and then the steel roll is moved along the work surface. So due to this one, the when suppose some hard particles are deposited on the top surface, these particles will be removed in a tiny material, like I can say little amount of material, small amount of materials will be removed from the top surface of the workpieces. So this is called as a burnishing process. And you can able to see ball burnishing process. So this is a category of a ball burnishing process. We will try to hold this workpiece in a check, and with the help of the balls this burnishing process is going to be done, and this is called as a diamond polishing. So with the help of the diamond we are going for polishing this particular job. So lapping process, so we can able to see some kind of a slurry is there, so and some movement of the part is there, so which is going to have a cover on the top surface of the part. So with this we have discussed about lapping, honing, polishing, burnishing and buffing process. These are the major super finishing operations which we can see it in the machining case.